We should be live. I'm just double checking. We're about to go live in a second. So let me just check the audio. We are live, ladies and gentlemen. I'm acting like people are actually here. Hold on, my son's trying to go to sleep, so I'm gonna mute my mic so that he's not screaming in you guys' ear. Our table is here, Hemi is here, we got Gas Beats Made It, we got Wired Burn here, we got Terry P in here, we got a Zinkwalt, we got Low Jack in the building, Barbara Nelson is here, we got, this is what MIDI keyboard does everyone use? I'm using the FL Key 37, it's on the floor, but that's what I use, it's a MIDI controller. Joshua Wilson is here. We got Piotr Rona. This is the Akai MK3 Mini. All right, shout out to you guys. So we're gonna make some beats today. And if my son keeps crying in you guys' ear, I'm gonna mute my mic. Here we go. All right, let's get this thing cracking. I think my son has officially laid his head down. All right, so we're gonna make some beats in FL Studio. You guys will get any project files that I create today for free. Just go to busyworksbeats.com/FL Studio. We got Offset up in here. Graz is here. We got Ventador. Dr. Soar is up in here. What up? Oh my gosh, she's won't go to sleep. Has your issue with the DAW freezing stopped? Yes, so far. I think it might have been a video glitch on Mac. Kapil is here. Are you excited for the Eminem album today? I had no idea. I'm not an Eminem fan like that. I didn't know that was coming out, but shout out to Eminem. Tuga is here. All right, so today we're gonna get into beat making. Oh my goodness, y'all, hold on. We got the Mill Ticket up in here. We got Dash up in here. We got Moin in here, or Moen maybe. Let's make a beat. So I don't know what type of beat to make, but I did transfer over some drums so that we could get at least started on something different. Let me see what kind of drum breaks I actually have up in here though. Let me see. My Mac put all these files in here, so that's tedious. I gotta delete those. James is here, Kapil is here. You ever make old school funk? I don't. I wish I could play funk guitar. It's one of the things I wish to do on guitar. The like rhythm guitar is very fun sounding. Jimico is here. James is up in here. What kind of beats do you guys want to make? I'll try to start off on what style you guys want first before I start going off on tangents. Alan is here. And for all the beginners who are watching this replay, I will try to break stuff down, but what happens is I explain and it takes like an hour and it kills the flow. So I will highlight important concepts, but as far as covering everything about the concept, you know, this live stream isn't for like breaking every little tiny thing down. What up? Anya Grime UK. We could use some elements from Grime. Pierre Bourne. House beat, trap beat. We could do, let's start off getting crazy with Serum. Just make some kind of dancey. Oh, my Serum is super small. Let me see if I can make this bigger. There we go. Cook something up. Pierre Bourne. We'll do like house mixed with UK grime, bass mixed with Pierre chords, something like that. So Pierre chord's all about taking out the third on a ninth chord. So here's a ninth chord. But instead of playing with the third, which is that second note in the chord, we're just going to omit the third. It's weird kind of playing it without. So that's what we're doing musically. And then I'll add that in the MIDI. Thank you. Flava Bouja Beats says, I think I'm going to switch back to FL21 because since I've updated to FL24, it freezes and has some issues. I had the same issues, but it went away. I don't know. It's one of those system-based things where it might be a system problem that it's beyond my pay grade. Phrygian is my favorite scale. Oh, I forgot I titled this FL Studio 24 Part 4. So I do have to cover some of the features in FL Studio 24. Today we're going to cover like note repeat in real time. Like I'm not going to force it onto the beat, but when it applies, we're going to do the chord progression tool, melody maker, scale lock potentially. What else is new? I mean, that's pretty much the new is stuff. All right. Irination is here. What up? If I said that right, or Irination. David is here, hip hop trap. Okay, so let's start off with grime bass. So firstly, we're gonna get in our sound design bag. This will sound like alien speak to people, but what I like to do is start off with a sine wave, because a sine wave is the most pure tone that we have. So let's go to oscillator A and B. We're gonna put it on a sine wave. We're gonna turn the level of oscillator B down. What up, Millennium? What up, Millennium? Oscillator B, we're going to turn the level down so we don't actually hear it. Okay, so we just have a sine wave right now. Jimmy Mac is here. What up? We're going to go to FM. We're going to go to the warp section and go to FM from B. What up, Neo? And we're going to turn up the FM amount. This is what creates that like EDM sound. Now we're going to widen out the initial sound by cranking up or increasing the amount of voices. Okay, so now we're at 4 voices unison. And this is how we make it sound wide. And on the global tab, we can actually lower our range for the unison down to 1 so that we're not going out of key. And now mess with the D2 knob. Okay, so you can try other waveforms like a triangle wave. So I'm gonna move quickly here. Again, too much time to explain sound design here. So a triangle wave will give you a little more harmonic content to work with. So now we're just going to go to a lower octave. Oops. And now we have the house type, grime type basses. Now we're going to add what's called portamento. I'm not sure if my head's in the way. So here is portamento. This is like a pitch bend between notes. So there's that wee type sound on the end of the sound. What up, Audio God? Luca is here. El Medi, what up? Ghost Slider, go to Harmor and use the Neon Cat preset. I don't like a Harmor's interface, unfortunately. All right, so, and then from here we can customize it and make these into pulse waves, a bunch of stuff. So we could also lower the modulating force down an octave for more of a bubbly tone. So that's kind of the gist. Now what we can do is go back to the main source sound and switch this out for something else. So let's do a sawtooth for now. That's your EDM type sound. Here's a triangle. A little too buzzy for me. Here's a pulse wave. Again, a little too buzzy. So we're gonna keep it on the sine wave. All All right, so I learned all this stuff, and that's why I made a whole plugin called Hercules. Okay, so I sound designed this stuff from scratch, and I went to gain all these like rare synth sounds and all this type of stuff. So it's 340 plus presets. If you guys go to busyworksbeats.com/Hercules. All right, this is the knowledge that went into Hercules on top of other knowledge, but busyworksbeats.com/Hercules. You guys can use the code all caps early bird in all caps to take off 50%. It's only for the 4th of July week, which ends here in 4 days. So by the 15th, this deal is up. All right, so use the code early bird, all caps. Will the stream be up later? Yes. Like to go back? Of course. Question is here. All right, John Rain is here. What up? So in this plugin, I already did the sounds for you guys. You don't have to do all this stuff, but I'm just showing you. That's how I got this sound right here. Is subtle FM on the sound. So just little things like that. All right, so now that we have the Grime bass, now Grime also uses different filtering. We could try different filters like a comb filter, for example. So let's do a comb filter. Let's do, I always mix these up. Let's turn the resonance up first so I can see the frequency. Here we go. And we want this to move. So I'm gonna quickly add a decay curvature over top of the cutoff frequency so this will move. And we could do the same thing over the FM amount so that will move over time. All right, let's get this range figured out here with this filter. So let's try different filters here. There's also one under miscellaneous called, is this the updated serum? I think I have the old serum. Oh man, this computer doesn't have the new serum. So apparently the new serum has more filters. I didn't realize I'm on a different version of serum. That's nuts. Darn. Where there's one called distorted comb filter, I think. And it sounds good, but I don't have it on here, so we're just gonna use a low pass filter then. So that's how we get that type of wub sound. Want to try my VST I created for Oriental sounds? It's called Orient VST. Bouja has his own VST. Shout out to anybody with a VST. You should add more. You should add dark mode on the site and favoriting courses and a Discord channel with roles for buyers only, where we can talk about help each other with Hercules. That would be such a small audience. I feel like it would not be valuable. It'd be like people don't engage in like tiny groups like that from my experience in our Discord. I tried the whole like 100 member Discord channel, but nobody used it. So I was like, what was the point? Dark mode on the site, I'll take that into consideration. You said in favoriting courses. That's a good idea, actually. Favoriting courses. Interesting. Now I don't control like some of the tech backend, but I mean, that's a good feature request. Interesting. Thank you for your feedback on that. Is it on your YouTube? Let me see here. We're getting a little sidetracked, but let's go to Bouja Beats' YouTube. Let's see your plugin here. Drag. Is it on your website? BoujaBeats.com. Let's see if we can find this plugin. Sorik Kwa says, why is everyone using Serum? This was the first synth to get it right. Put it that way. Or here it is, Orient VST. The most powerful VST on the market for Oriental sounds. Purchase the VST using your credit card or PayPal. I mean, it looks cool. I'm all about supporting producers who make their own products. So if you're in the plugin product game, let me know. It better be good though. And I don't need it to be Omnisphere. I'm just saying like the sounds better be decent. All right, it looks cool. Has just enough knobs. It's not overly done. Looks cool. Shout out to Bouja Beats. We have a lot of people in here that I have to teach and entertain, so I will try not to get sidetracked by stuff. Straw Baby Khaki says, seeing Hercules as a new UI. Nice. I'm gonna get some. Thank you. All right, so let's get back to the program. Hi, I'm trying to learn music production and I learned a lot from you. Thank you very much. Thank you, Can you show us how to add the Hercules plugin in FL? I actually have to post that video because a lot of people, are you on Mac? I forgot if you're on Mac or was it PC? Because I forgot. So just tell me if you're on Mac or PC. I could probably figure out which part of the installation process you're having an issue with. But if you didn't email me already, I should have responded if you already sent an email. Why is everyone using Serum? Vital is the exact same plugin for free. I wouldn't say exactly the same. Its workflow is very different. It looks different. How's FL Studio 24 going so far? I would say so far so good. All right, so this is our grind base. We're gonna keep moving because I don't want to get sidetracked by the chat. Going off on tangents. Uh-oh, my screen froze on me. Hold up, y'all. Oops. All right, let's call this grind base. It's weird because FL on PC is not the same as FL on Mac. They do different things. So Millennium says he had Hercules on PC and he's having trouble with install. So after you drag it to your, hold on, let me think how to show you guys. So after you drag the VST or the .dll technically to your VST folder. So if you're on PC, you just click on here, your PC, go to where it says program files, go to where it says common files. And then you want to find your VST 2 or 3. It doesn't matter. These are just folders. They're not like utility folders. They're just labels. So put it in the VST 2 folder, and then you could put your Hercules DLL right here. So that's what it has to be in here for FL Studio to know where your plugin is actually at. Now, as far as loading up the sounds, when you load up Hercules, it's going to ask you to install sounds. You click on it, the thing. I don't have it visually because I already have it installed. But you click install sounds and you have to find wherever you downloaded the .hr1 file, which is basically a compressed file. So if you deleted that by accident, you need to re-download Hercules. Okay, so it's gonna ask you like, where did you store that .hr1 file? You need to go to wherever you downloaded that, click on the .hr1, then it's gonna ask you where do you wanna put the samples, and then you can put the samples anywhere on your computer. I recommend just keeping everything in the same folder. And then you choose where you put the samples, and then from there it will start extracting the samples from those compressed folders. Okay, and then it's going to ask you, do you want to delete the initial file? I forget the language for it, but it's going to ask you, do you want to get rid of the initial .hr1 file? Just hit no, and then that's how you install it. It's a little tricky because I already have it installed and I know there's no visuals, but that's verbally how you would figure out why you're stuck where you are. But worst case, just email me. I have screenshots I could send you. Not on this computer, but on my Mac. All right, Samurai's here. What up? All right, so that's our grind base. What up, Pinecone? Hey, man, I bought the Hercules program with all the courses and everything. How do I add the courses and the packs? Make sure to, if you bought it before like yesterday, make sure you go back into your text file. If not, if you bought it before yesterday, just email me at info@busyworksbeats.com. One of the links was incorrect. So that's probably what happened. I didn't realize till like hundreds of people got the plugin, and then I was like, oh, the link's wrong. One of the links were wrong. Paranoid. What do you think about 808s clipping? We'll get there. All right. Beat battles are Mondays at 3 p.m. Eastern time. This chat is the definition of ADD or 80, one of them, going off track. Okay. So let us continue. So we have the grind bass. We wanted to make the house chords and then the Pierre Bourne type sound. So we need like an airy type sound. I think I have Nexus on here. Hopefully it loads up. If not, we'll use, okay, I do have it. Okay, so we need some kind of airy pad sound. Let's go to bright. And then let's, something like this. So I like Nexus because it just gets straight to the point with their sounds. Okay, so now we have this. We're gonna play ninth chords without the third. I'm gonna quickly do this because again, we're gonna go to chord stamp, minor ninth. Let's go down to where it says D, and let's just hold this chord. We're gonna highlight the chord, hit Alt G, and get rid of the second note. Wow, that is loud. I don't know why that's so loud, but let's turn that down. Let's hit Control down, pull that down an octave. You said, are the courses downloaded? No, we don't do that because so many people would have issues downloading. It was just eating up so much of my customer support time. So I was like, people didn't know that they needed good internet to download the course. It was so many issues that came with the downloads that we just made it streamable. It just saves bandwidth. It saves emails. It's just better for us as a company. Some of the courses are downloadable. Beatmaker, the Better Beatmaker, which is a free course, is downloadable, as well as something else is downloadable. Maybe the FL Studio course. But outside of those, I'm staying away from those because too much customer support backend issues. Okay, so beat battles are Mondays at 3 p.m. Eastern time, and song feedback is Fridays at 3 p.m. Eastern time. So tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern time, we're going to do song feedback. Just join us in the Discord. The link's at the top of this chat. We're going to get into what Hercules does in a second. Poison has airy sounds. Dope. Streamable. Can you rewatch them? Yes. It's just percentage is just showing you how far you've gone within the course, so you know kind of how far you are along. Some people like the progress of it all. How do you make drum beats sound good? We're gonna get into it. Okay, so this sound could be better. Let's try actually an FL Studio plugin. Let's do Toxic Biohazard. So this is a plugin people sleep on, super sleep on. Let's go here. Let's go to pads. And the cool thing I'm gonna show you guys, we have a lot of people here, so I need to show them a trick. Okay, so we have 114 people here. Now I can show you guys the sauce. So now we're about to get into sauce territory. So get ready. With any image line built plugin, you could do stuff that you can't do with third-party plugins, even my own plugin. So first, let's get a sound going. Let's drop this down maybe an octave. Control down does that. Okay, and usually Pierre Bourne stuff is 2-chord. So I'm gonna go dun, dun. No, that's an octave. Okay, so instead we're gonna go down to C. We're hitting shift to copy the chord, pull it down. Now the cool part is it doesn't need to be perfectly in the scale. Technically we're going outside of the scale here we're just using what's called chord transposition. They use this in house music. We're copying the same exact chord type and pasting it transposed. So technically we're out of key, but it sounds good. What up, Diablo? Make a tutorial on making intros to beats. Thank you for the request, suggestion. Now, from what I remember, rough memory, I think Pierre Bourne goes upward in his chord progression. So instead of going downward like I just did, we're gonna go upward. Let's see what this feels like though. So the magic on that is what's called the half step. So right here, this one note is going one note up, and that creates that Tyler the Creator, like Pharrell, Neptunes. Who else uses this technique? More funk and soul type producers, they use these half steps to create this nice tension, but it feels good. What up, Poji? So now we're gonna go back to Toxic Biohazard and just swap out the preset. It's a little too hollow for me. That one's a little too dull. I kind of like the first one now. Nah. Whoa. Whoa. Hold on, y'all. The frick is this? Oh, I think Toxic Biohazard is glitching on us. That's super weird. Kind of like the first one. It was kind of fire. Let's keep it on the first one and not go too far off. Old school hip hop. Right now we're combining grime with Pierre Bourne with house. So that's the genre experiment we're going to create today. And not today, but just for this beat. What up, T? So what we're going to do, let's copy this over. And let me show you guys the one FL Studio tip that you can do inside of FL that you can't do inside of third-party plugins. SAR, what up, Wolo? Alfonzi said, Henry, what up? FL Studio 24. You get it on their website. Here's the website, image-line.com. It's a completely free update. Faisal is here. Okay, so now what I'm going to show you, I learned this from Synthet. He's another great YouTuber. Just double click on a note. We're going to switch what's called the note color. So this case, I'm changing it to note color 9. And I want to add another note. I want to double click, make sure this note color is the same as the initial note color, which is 9. What we want to do here is find what's called the perfect fifth. Just in short, it's just count down 5 notes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's down 5, and if you're going upwards, it's up 7 notes from wherever you are starting. So there's different each way. So it's 5 notes downward creates what's called the perfect fifth. So you want to resolve this down what's called a fifth. This is called the dominant to tonic resolution. Now we're going to double click on the note and make it a slide note. So this note will slide to this note, and it won't affect any of these notes. Okay, so that's how you do it inside of Image Line plugins only. So now that, and so this also can be applied to New Jazz. Let's see what happens if we add a note repeat. So this is a new feature. My FL froze. Hold up, y'all. I don't know what happened there. Okay, so now that we highlighted it, I'm pretty sure it won't sound crazy because we're doing a note slide. But let's just go to controls now. If you don't see controls, there's an ellipses at the bottom of your piano roll. Just left click, drag this up. Go to control. Go to note repeat. This is the new feature in FL Studio 21. So for all these notes, we could chop them up. As you can hear, we're not hearing the pitch slide because it's repeating. I'm curious what this will sound like on this note, however. Oh, you know, we can't slide repeat notes. Okay, that's interesting to know. I mean, we can't chop up repeat note. I said that backwards. We can't repeat slide notes. So it's interesting how that feature kind of works with other stuff. We're probably going to use that more so with drums, but I just wanted to show you guys that pitch control thing that you could do. So that's for any version of FL Studio. See what happens if we go up to the fifth instead of downward. Control up. So hear how it's only affecting that top note and not the entire chord. So that's a technique you guys can implement immediately. Nextly, okay, now that we have the Pierre Bourne chords, we can change the key, but let's add this grime type bass. I would say this is more so UK house than grime though. AJ's here. I've been messing around with Sakura. I think that's another plugin that people sleep on. Yeah, I never got into Sakura. It just never caught my ear. Let's figure out how to make this in the house. So let's pull this down to 128 BPM, which is very danceable. 120 to 128. Okay, so let's record that. So notice the it's hard to hear that. Okay, so what was I saying a second ago? For house music, we're writing in syncopation. If you don't know what syncopation is, let me find a hi-hat for you guys. So I know you guys have been asking more for like drum patterns. You could use this in your drum patterns as well. Syncopation is a pretty simple concept. It sounds way more complicated than what it actually is. In short, this is like basic beat. Okay, that's how most people do their hi-hats. They just ka, boom, boom, and it sounds super kind of sluggish. What we can do is hit Control Shift left or right on the arrows and move that hi-hat around. Why is this important? Because now we're going to put the hi-hats on the ands. So instead of the downbeat where it's like 1, 2, 3, now the hi-hats are the 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. That's going to create the hi-hat, the house bounce. Okay, so that's what house is syncopation. So that's what syncopation is in short. Okay, so we're going to use more of that bouncy approach, and we're not going to use the downbeats where it's like trap beat, where it's like ta 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 ta. That's trap. House is more like on that syncopated beat, it's called. Okay, so let's add this in. Now I don't have a house kit. I probably should have. I forgot to transfer my like EDM drums over. So we're going to use a trap hi-hat for now. Now for the bass, I'm going to show you guys a technique. We're going to record this bass, and we're probably going to swap out the sounds, unless I have more presets, which I don't. Okay, I might have to mess with the sound a little bit more. Okay, so I'm gonna record this, and if you guys study my other videos, there's something called tresillo, which is da 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 da. That's not triplets, it's called tresillo. So I'm gonna one tresillo, one tresillo, one one one. So it's tresillo, just offset 1 2 3 4. It's kind of hard because we're going out of key, or switching keys, I should say. So we're gonna have to manually go fix some of these tones because they're not in the right key. If you struggle with bass, hit Control up, pull your bass up an octave. This should be done. Okay, so that's the bass. We're gonna pull that down. So I'm gonna edit this bass a little bit because it's not the exact tone I want. Also, for house music, we're going to turn up what's called the swing parameter in the channel rack, which is this icon here. You can turn the swing parameter up, and this will make the hi-hats go like, instead of or instead of going like, it'll go like, it adds a bounce. What up, Benjamin? So anytime I'm going dun 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 dun, it'll go like dun 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 instead of dun 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 dun. Just listen to this double backed bass. Also, I'm going to hit Alt Q to quantize these notes a little bit. So I'm going to work on the sound just a little bit here. So let's say this is too trappy of a hi-hat. I'll show you guys the technique to quickly turn this into more of a house hi-hat. Go to your envelope, volume envelope. We're going to turn up a little attack. So that will smear out the hi-hat to sound more like a shaker. And a little bit softer. It depends on the hi-hat length though. You can only shave off so much transient. Now I'm just trying to get the tone right. So right now FM is taking us out of key technically, so we're going to use the fine tune pitch to really pull this into tuning. We're going to go to the global settings in Serum and pull this up in pitch. Let's see if we can find some. That's my closest clap I have is a snare clap. See if I can find some more claps. All right, so JP Bangs has some claps in his Stop Playing kit. This just came out. Let's turn the loop mode off. Let's go to mode resample. Time, we're gonna right click, hit none. And on other samples, you might also have to go to the volume envelope tab, go to reset root note. So that's how you fully reset a sample if it doesn't sound like the way you have it in the browser. What up, Selava Beats, if I'm saying that right? Can you make 90s hip hop? Yeah, we'll do that next. Just remind me. You can create EDM drums from hip hop drums. In a way. Oh, wait, I do have, what am I saying? I have my retro kit. So if you guys want house kit, the Roland TR-909. I forgot I had this on here. There we go. Let's swap the drums out. So sound selection to a beginner, you guys might not understand how important sound selection is, but it's everything. So the one mistake I, made a long time ago was using the wrong drum. Yeah, let me take a vitamin C for one. What up, LA? I was using the wrong drum sounds for a very long time, and I was like, why don't my drums hit? One, I wasn't turning them up loud enough, like literally the volume was too low. And then two, I was just using the wrong samples. They were just not good samples. So if you guys struggle with drum kits, you could join our Discord. We have a producer named Lunch77 who curated all the top producer kits, from Metro Boomin to Travis Scott to Kanye West, Dr. Dre, Just Blaze, Jay Dilla. Like, he literally is every producer you guys look up to, and he figured out the sounds that they use. It's on our Discord. The link is in our Discord. Let me see if I can pull up Discord. Where did Discord go? I think I turned it off. Discord. I'll show you guys where to find it real quick. When I started, I was always using the ones that came with FL. Yeah, it was the same way. I had like the same. I was like, why do my beats all sound the same? Oh, my drums all sound the same. All right, so let's do a 4 to the floor kick, or just right click, do 4 to the floor. Now we need to edit the hi-hats a little loud. I'm just showing you guys how you can be super flexible with genre. Once you know the basics of production, you can apply it to house, R&B, hip hop, trap, you know, all the newer genres, new jazz. I don't like the pad sound though. It's the only sound I don't like out of all these. Yeah, the drum kits are free. This one's, I like the sound, it's too much release. Also go on Reddit. Like, anytime you guys have a very specific genre, like let's say New Jersey Club, and you're like, I need a drum kit for New Jersey Club, just go to Reddit and type in New Jersey Club drum kit Reddit on Google, and it'll pop up with the exact drum kit that you need. So if you go to our Discord, it's Discord. My tongue has been like going, I need to write more because my speech is starting to take a drop. Let's start that sentence over. Okay, if you would like to use the drum kits that Metro Boomin uses, Travis Scott, Kanye West, all the top producers, just go to our Discord. It's discord.gg/busyworksbeats. Once you join in, click at the top here where it says busyworksbeats. Go to where it says show all channels, make sure that's turned on. And now you can see on the left side, we have all these channels, they're called. So the channel you guys want to check for the drum kits is under downloads category. We're going to go to where it says drum kits. And then here you could find the website link for Lunch77, who provided us with all these drum kits from, you know, Alchemist, Cardiac, Crash Dummy Records, D.Will, DJ Dahi, DJ Premier, DJ Quick, DJ Toomp, Dr. Dre, Drummer Boy, Havoc and Mobb Deep, Hitmaker, Jay Dilla, Just Blaze, Kanye West, Kid Cudi, Lil Jon, Mac Miller, Madlib, Metro Boomin, MF Doom, Mike Dean, and the list goes on. There's also a Kanye West kit somewhere floating around that he released too. All right, so that's the link for it. You guys could check that link. All right, so now that we have that situated, I don't even produce or want to produce. I just like watching you explain-ish. Oh, wow, what do you do, Deng? I wonder what Deng's into. My son's waking up, so I got to mute my mic potentially here in a second. What up, I don't know, Surge? Make a beat without sound. That's a challenge right there. It's kind of hard with the sound selection if you can't hear the sound. Now we're gonna do our hi-hats. So it's gonna go, and we're gonna use this step sequencer. We're gonna go to where it says graph editor, go to velocity, and kind of step it up just by right clicking to create a fade. Now we don't want the swing to affect the sound, so we're gonna click on the sound, go to the wrench tool, turn swing down. Hold on, y'all, he's still going off. All right, so what we're gonna do now, sorry y'all, I had to just let my son cry it out for a second. Tipo is here, Brazilian funk. We're gonna get into hip hop next. Mr. Bring Your Main. I lost all my programs and VSTs 3 years ago, and finally I got all my stuff back. It is I will say, having your sounds is like all of production, because I didn't have all my drums on this PC, and it just felt like I had to start all over again. So yeah, having your drums is super important. Make sure you guys back it up on hard drives, cloud services. Keep a stash of your drums at all times. Jay Ross is here, is asking for a credit card. You talking about on the Hercules site? Oh, you talking about on that Lunch 77 kit? If it is, then just look on Reddit for like styles of drum kits. So if you guys want like a drill drum kit, type in drill drum kit Reddit. You'll find the exact genre. So I didn't know he put a paywall up, but I don't know. All right, so that is how you make house. C-Wave is here. Lunch makes his own kits. It's not a direct copy of Kanye's kits, unfortunately. Yeah, it's I mean, still, for somebody to go through that much sound, like listening to sounds and trying to match up sounds, that's a lot of time and a lot of research. Even if it's not the exact sound, you know, it's a lot of research involved. Andres is here. Coffee says the pad sounds lush. All right, so one thing we're gonna do is send everything to the mixer here, Control L. He said it's free too much, Terry. Okay, so I haven't been on their site in a while. But again, you guys could check Reddit. Reddit has like everything from drum breaks to whatevs. Okay, so now that we have, and also if you guys want to support the creators who made the packs, the reason I like the Reddit kits is because I was tired of Splice acting like they were introducing new sounds. Let's be honest. All those drum kits for trap and hip hop are recycled sounds. We've had those sounds since Native Instruments dropped Battery. Just tweaked like a little bit, and they're like, oh, this is my new drum kit. It's just a hustle for producers to say that they have like a new product. They just throw out a drum kit, and we all know they repackage the sound. So I was like, why do I keep buying the sounds, same sounds over and over and over and over and over again? And that's why I liked what Lunch 77 did, was because he made it so that people can stop buying the same recycled sounds over and over and over again, and really buy for what they're buying, which is either to support the producer, to buy their curated sounds, to support them, like I said, or if they have stuff like Decap and all that, those are the people we support. Count, he has a very specific style. He doesn't just recycle drums. Decap, Sound Oracle, like the real sound designers stand out now because they're not just copying and pasting drums from something. So that's why I think it was important for Lunch 77 to do what he did. Okay, so now that we have the groove, hold on, y'all. Oh my goodness. Now that we have the groove, what we're gonna do is send everything to a sidechain. Not everything, but the bass and the pad. We're gonna right click, route to this track only, find our pad, do the same exact thing. We're gonna go open up Fruity Limiter. Okay, and then here we are going to find our kick, which is right here. We're gonna right click and sidechain to this track. Now we're gonna open up the Fruity Limiter, go to compressor mode, right click on where it says sidechain and select your kick input. We're gonna lower the threshold and then turn your ratio all the way up. This is how you create that pump effect. What up, Mike? What do you think about Chuki Beats? I just saw him on the Producer Diaries podcast. Shout out to Chuki Beats. Chuki Beats, when I cooked up with him in New York, he came into New York for something. I forgot what he was here for. And we cooked up in a studio called the Engine Room, I think. And basically, and this is Vitamin C, by the way. And we cooked up. What up? I don't know, Serge. We cooked up in the Engine Room, and he's just super talented. His loops are crazy. His guitar is crazy. His loops are crazy. He's just super creative and super skilled. And the best part is that he'll work with you even if you're not like super talented. Because we did a collab with like 7 producers. I forgot who all pulled up. It was Riser, Chuki, Perfection from the Illmind podcast, Illmind Black Chat podcast. Who else pulled up that day? I know I'm missing somebody, and the engineer's name was Ed. So all I'm saying is Chuki's a really good person first, and then all the other stuff. So I would support him in general. I'll never forget, Chuki had a weird Mac. So to me, I think Chuki's from like Belgium or something. I looked at his Mac to do something because I'm used to the Mac workflow. I have a Mac and a PC. So I went to use his Mac for something, and then the letters were different. I was so confused. I didn't know they made Macs for like different languages. So the E was different. Like there was umlauts over letters. I was like, what am I didn't know how to use the Mac because it was a different language. But yeah, Chuki's just a super enthusiastic person. Update FL frequently. This update is good. You know what we should do? Add the note repeats. So here's something that I didn't know. Note repeat is now in the graph editor. So if you go to your channel rack right here, go to the graph editor, go to the repeat tab, and I'll do this for the hi-hats. We're gonna add a note repeat in here somewhere. It's kind of hard to hear with the drums, so let me. So it goes like that. So it adds a nice shuffle. Very subtle, but you can do it right in the channel rack. So that helps with trap producers and house producers very much. What's new about FL? They have a note repeat, which I just showed you. In the channel rack and also in the piano roll, we have chord progression tool, which is what I actually use these things. Excuse me. And those are the 2 major things. Everything else is kind of like whatever, but I mean, it's still worth the upgrade in my opinion. I got used to the workflow, so I would recommend it. Pad isn't the greatest sound, but so here's another technique is ghost notes. Now, in Serum, you would have to program what's called velocity sensitivity. This isn't by default. So what we're gonna do is select the velocity, and I believe we can put this over the, can we do the master? No, we can't. So I think it's a level of oscillator A and then level of oscillator B, which we're not using right now. So I think that should give us velocity sensitivity. Let me double check. Haven't used velocity sensitivity in a minute. I know there's another way to do it. So here's the velocity control. Maybe because I didn't do enough range, that's probably why. Yeah, that's why. So I have this backwards, so let's do it the other way. So anyhow, so now we have velocity sensitivity, and we can go in and use like ghost notes to make this bounce a little bit more. So those little truncated ghost notes add to the bounce. We have a lot of chat activity. I'm trying to read it all, but it's a lot of text. Scanna Beats, what up? Yeah, shout out to Scanna Beats, I should say. Yeah, I followed all those guys. LLB, produced by Jack Ocean. It's probably somebody I'm forgetting overseas, but those are the UK boys, I call them. What's up? What's new about FL? I got a gaming laptop and I don't even play games on it. It's just strictly for making beats. You almost need gaming laptops so that you can actually make beats nowadays. These plugins are getting so powerful that it puts so much stress on the computer, to where it's like a new plugin comes out and it takes up all our computer's resources for the new computer that we just bought. So it's like, are we really getting a more powerful computer if it just matches the level of plugin demand? The chord generator's cool, cloud-based samples, but I don't use FL Cloud, so that's more so for them. That's an update for them. You think Massive is better than Serum? Massive now is so confusing. It was confusing before because it wasn't visual, but now it's really confusing. Massive X, and I'm a sound designer, and it's very confusing. Super confusing. How much time do you spend practicing mixing tracks? Funny you asked that, because I think it was last night. I just got on the computer, started practicing. I was like, I need to practice more, like do more music stuff, because that's when you get in the groove and you start really getting better. That's a great question. I just thought about that. So funny enough, in our Discord, if you guys didn't know, we actually have a way for you guys to practice mixing. So if you guys go to our Discord, it's discord.gg/ here, I'll type it in, discord.gg/ BusyWorks Beats. Once you join our Discord, click in the top where it says BusyWorks Beats, go to show all channels, because now on the left side, if you guys look under downloads, we'll see multi-track stems. And so here you can practice mixing freaking Michael Jackson's multi-tracks. This is the only one I've posted so far is Michael Jackson, because when you open these up in Pro Tools or FL or wherever you mix, your mind's gonna be blown. You're like, this man created magic. This is not music, this is magic. And it's just, it makes you admire Michael Jackson even more, because it's just like the mastery, like every instrument is played to perfection. Like the synths, you'll see, it'll be so enlightening, because one, you'll be mixing magic, but then two, you'll see everything that it took to get the groove that they got. Like, I didn't know, I forget what track was it? Was it Man in the Mirror, or it might have been Smooth Criminal, one of those. I think it was Smooth Criminal. On the Smooth Criminal multi-tracks, there's like the synth from a Moog that just is a rhythm synth. I think it's that track. And you're like, I didn't even hear it in the mix, but it creates the entire rhythm for the track. So it starts teaching you like sound selection, layering, and all that type of stuff. It's a very good, like, you guys, if you don't have these multi-tracks, you're behind the curve big time. And they're the real deal. They're not like made up multi-tracks. It's the real sessions like of Michael Jackson. It's insane. Yeah, I started studying Serum a little bit deeper too. That was one of the things I wanted to practice. I said, let me open up the Serum manual and be boring and go page by page the Serum manual until I know a lot about Serum. Mickey says, what up, Busy? Can I ask, how do you set up your MIDI knob and button? That's a little too much for today's video. I probably have a pre-made video though. I don't think I cover MIDI as much, but just type in MIDI controller BusyWorks Beats. Hopefully I have something, but for today it's just too off track to cover that right now. Auto routing of MIDI to mixer is also new to FL. Auto routing of MIDI to mixer. Huh. I didn't notice that. What's your number one tip for beginners? Get better sounds. Like once you have the sounds, you're 90% there. It's just figuring out how to put the sounds together. But getting the sounds is the game. Is MacBook Air good enough? I mean, I'm not a computer guy, so I can't give you computer advice, unfortunately. All right, so anyhow, that's where you can get the multi-tracks. I don't want to get sidetracked. So we have 106 people here that we have to entertain. So let's move to the next beat. We did a house beat. Let's do hip hop. Do you guys want hip hop next? Just let me know. Hip hop, old school, like boom bap type hip hop. Or if you want 2000s hip hop, let me know. I know the chat's going to take a little bit for you guys to get that audio of me asking, but let me know what you want to do next. Just join the community. Thank you, Tito. Isotope plugins are really heavy. Yeah, that Ozone Maximizer always starts making my computer crackle. And their interface, something about the interface change that they made from Ozone 10 to 11, that it like stutters my computer. I don't know what they did with the graphics on that, but it doesn't work the same with my GPU on my Mac. They did something to mess it up. It's very CPU intensive, that's for sure. When started making beats before 3 years, I used to make beats using loops instead of making it from scratch. We can use some of you guys' loops from Discord too today If you guys have Discord, I mean, if you have loops on our Discord, I'll grab some loops and we'll just drag them into FL, and I'll show you guys more of like the sample workflow. Yeah. What PAX is all the rolling kits. It's an old vintage. I forgot the name of the site now. All this stuff should be linked in our Discord. I'm pretty sure I linked it in the Discord. Under drum kits when you join Discord. Boom Bap, old school, Timbaland 2000, Boom Bap School, Pharrell, Mob Deep, Gangsta Rap. So we're getting a lot of like genres here. So I'm seeing like a 50-50 from roughly. So we'll see what we can do. Let's do like a 50 Cent type type boom bap, if that's even a thing. Like boom bappy, but like 2000s-y. So we'll call this G Unit. Live stream. I crack up when these kids now are like making beats that I grew up on. It's just funny watching other YouTubers try to make 2000s beats because they weren't there. So I mean, I guess they were there technically, but they might have been just born. It's just funny. Marquette says, is Serato Sample 2 better than Waves Crate? Yeah, I use Serato Sample way more than Waves Crate. I think I used Waves Crate a couple times and forgot about it. Not saying it's bad, but it's night and day. Serato Sample is light years ahead of for what it does. Alicio says 2017 hip hop. Yeah, something was magic between 2010 and 2014 hip hop. All right, Serato Sample. Please do 2K hip hop. All right, so what I'll do is I'll start off as if I'm a 2K producer. So I have a real keyboard right here. You guys can't hear it, but let me load it up. This is called a Korg Triton. I mean, not a Korg Triton. I was thinking of, this is called a Korg Kronos. Back in the day, they used what's called a Korg Triton. So I don't know if I have that on here, but let me see if I do. The Triton, I do. Okay, so here's the Triton. So this is your Pharrell synth, your Timbaland synth, your Scott Storch. Okay, all those guys were using the Triton back then. To master FL, I mean, I just didn't have direction. You guys got to remember, when I started, there was literally nobody teaching us step-by-step how to use FL Studio. This is a new thing. After I started making videos, then other people started making videos, and we created like a big community around FL. But there was no videos like that back then. So I would say with all the support you guys have nowadays, you can master FL in one day. I shouldn't say master. Let me change my words. You should be very comfortable with FL Studio in one day. I have a whole course. What up, Very Sick Beats? Now he has, I'm glad you popped up. Hold on, let me link this real quick. If you go to busyworksbeats.com/FL Studio, I have a free FL Studio course. Now Very Sick Beats did such a dope video, and I think he got motivated because he passed 100,000. Let me put you guys on real quick. Okay. So if y'all don't know Very Sick Beats, he's been doing it, and he's just one of those where he's just super sick at it and super low-key. So I watched this, where's the one about soul? I think it was this one. The ultimate how to make, here, I'll link it in the chat. Give me a second. Even myself, I tried to make soul samples one time and it didn't feel all the way like a soul sample. But he knows the formula here. Very Sick Beats. Okay, I thought there was like 2 Y's or something. So you guys need to subscribe for one and then go watch that video. Because he teaches you how to, let me just give you a preview real quick. Hold up. I'm glad you popped in too, by the way. Thank you.
Quantization, none of that.
Let's go to the end here.
And again, these are all stock sounds, man. I had to do this.
Yeah, Logic is different. Logic is just goated for all things stock sounds. So.
And I can still flip that. So, for example, just take everything.
Wait, I was trying to get to the part where you played it. My bad, I'm clicking it all over. Like that sounds legitimately like a 70s sample. So if you guys want to learn how to make stuff like that, you got to go to people who know how to actually do it. Even I tried and wasn't all the way there. That is a very good video. And shout out to you passing 100,000 subscribers. Plaque on the way. Let's go. All right, so that popped up in my home feed one day. But yeah, if you guys want to study boom bap, he is Wu-Tang style boom bap, stealing samples. I remember he taught us how to use a guitar pedal on I think it was an MPC. My brain couldn't fathom what that even meant back then, but now I understand what you were doing. So stuff like that, you guys got to learn. Anyhow, back then the Korg Triton was the thing. So let's go to browse, And we're gonna go to keyboards, and then any of these pianos are gonna be your go-to. Oh yeah, it's the GOAT for real. There's one of the people who were actually here back in the day. There weren't a lot. Why is this not making sound? Hold on. I know I'm not crazy. Okay, we're getting sound here. This plugin might be glitched. Hold up, y'all. We're gonna figure this out as a team. So anyhow, go to the keyboard category, or if you guys want like to really go back in time, go to the drums category, and then you'll find the grinding drums. I think came from this. Don TZ is here. Please show me the best way to set up FL for vocal recording. I have some videos about that. If you type in vocal recording FL Studio, it'll pop up. I go through all the steps. Lil 357 is here. What up? Darn, does this not want to play now? Oh, here we go. Here's the Pharrell. Why is this not playing though? That's so weird. My typing keyboard's not triggering those. Let's see if the piano roll. Huh. I don't know what's wrong with this Korg Triton, but that's the plugin that you guys want to look at. So since that's not working, we're going to use the Korg Kronos. Is this playing any sound at all? Hold on, y'all. We're going to figure this out. Okay, so I'll try to find some 2000Z type sounds. So first we need to start with like the sound that makes this jump. Also, you can tap the tempo. Find me in the club. I got the dun 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 dun. So dance hip hop in the 2000s was a higher 90s BPM. So you're looking at anything from 95 to 100. Boom bappy hip hop is more so towards like 84 to 88 BPM, 91 at the highest, or like around the highest. And then from more like gangsta, like, you know, like street hip hop that wasn't super boom bappy, it was like 90 to 93. So once you get into the high 90s, this was a really high tempo. Pharrell uses a lot of unique sounds chords nowadays, yeah, but I'm talking about the Korg Triton is just known to be the sound of that time, the 2000s. Let's go through a couple presets, and we're gonna look for that thing that gives us the starting point. I'm probably gonna go with either brass or an orchestra hit. So let's find out. Yeah. That might be a cool little drum fill. Let's record that. We may use it or may not. Let's just record it though. One. We might use it, we might not. Hey, you never know. Let's record it anyway. Okay, so that's one thing. So now we got a drum texture. It's a very cool guy type sound. I don't know if that would be like the sound we're going for though today. So we can start here because I don't want to go through like 1,000 sounds, but yeah, Korg Kronos is the greatest. Oh, that just okay. Greatest sound source I've ever had. One. So if there's one keyboard, you guys, I would recommend buying if you have the money for it in due time. Korg Kronos, better than all the keyboards that I have combined, as far as how much I use it in the utility. So that should be enough for the bounce. And then we're gonna layer stuff on top. Okay, so let's find the downbeat. Wait, one. Okay, so let's start here. Don't worry about the tom drums right now. We're going to mute those. If you don't know, you can grab the mute tool, click on the audio, and it will just turn it off. Okay, so let's start here and let's cut the ending here. Let's hit shift right click to do a vertical slice that will cut off the ends of stuff. So now we have a bass. Let's go to our orchestra now. So let's clone this over a couple times. Control B does latch paste. You have to make sure that you're cutting on time though. I know there's not anything to see, but we're gonna hear. So now we need to move to the strings. For the string chords, we're gonna play what's called a minor chord and then a suspended second chord. You're gonna take your minor chord and just drop the middle note down one, basically. I like that for a phrase. Let's see what key we're in there. So this would be considered a phrase. A motif basically is the technical term for it. Do something like that. So I'm just going to kind of freestyle it and we'll combine it as if it's a sample. So notice the detail of the string. Kind of loose, wasn't the tightest timing. Pharrell said it himself, he loves major seventh chords. Yeah, they played their chord game was just, it was the voicing that made it insane. Like they would play a major seventh but then play it in a way that just was not human. They were just insane. Oh, I missed 2 bars. I gotta do it again. Not again, but I gotta add more to it. Hold up, my bad. And not the strongest timing on the strings, but we're not worried about that. We're just using this as a top line to bounce around once we add the ensemble. Oh, that was dope. Once we add the ensemble. Okay, so now we have the top line strings, or the strings that go on top of stuff. Now we're gonna look for an ensemble string. See if we can layer that in some type of way. So I'm just playing root notes going down the scale. Let's add this in. Okay, so Dr. Dre, 50 Cent, or let's just say Scott Storch really, was known to layer the downbeat with octaves. So now I'm just playing the octaves. Strings could be much better as my timing. And also I'm running latency here on the live stream, so it's a little loose. I might go back and redo that. The top line strings. So now we have the octave with a wingman, Max Adolphus. So now we're just layering. We did the music theory of it all, but now we're just layering what happened. So we're playing F minor. Now we're gonna play just the root notes F, Game of Thrones type beat. And then I'll show you how to get your drums nice and big for that 2000 sound. So right now we're just doing all the musicality first, and then we'll do drums. Like if I take out the top line is not very sharp, so it's very loose. Let's take out the top line for a second. So here's more like a 50 Cent type sound. It's an ethnic flute. So let's add these in. I think too, these hits are a little off. Let's just record this in. Then we'll move to the drums and then we'll come back to the music. Alright, so I'm just doing different samples so I don't have to keep going back. Alright, so I think we have the majority of stuff. So now let's move into the drums. I'm gonna move kind of quick here. Okay, so firstly we want to chop up a drum break. And I think, yeah, I have my drum breaks on here. So drum breaks, I would recommend you guys, in my opinion, I like drum breaks that are made by producers nowadays and drummers nowadays than ones that are from samples, because the one from samples are kind of thin. What up, Saint Big Win? Sahil is here, we got DL here. And because it's so thin, I don't like the drums half the time. So AJ Hall has nice drums. There's other drum breaks you guys can find around the internet, like Reddit, just drum crates. So I try to avoid like the classic hip hop breaks because again, they're a little thin. This is too much going on and it's thin for my ear. Okay, so what we'll do, let me see. Let's go to a do, for example. Now these aren't a drummer playing, but the samples are a little bit more modern. So let's right click, let's open this up in Slice. And I'll show you guys how to use FL Studio like an MPC. So let's cut this and let's go to the typing keyboard to piano. We're gonna right click and go to C4 and then go to Slice X. So your octave has to be on 4, your root note's on C. So now I can use my typing keyboard to trigger it like a drum kit. So I'm gonna start with the hi-hats first and then we'll move into the snares. I like to play with human timing unless the beat kind of sounds offbeat. Okay, so that's what I'll do first. And again, we're gonna arrange this and move stuff around. So this arrangement really comes from like when you record a bunch of artists doing takes and lines, you want to chop it up and basically make a beat out of it. So when you guys ask me how to arrange your beat, we're asking questions from a different process of music production. We're not asking it from like, most people are asking how to structure a song, not how to arrange an actual beat. So a beat arrangement would be like if I recorded a guitarist, a bass player, a drummer, how do I take all this recording and make it into a beat, basically? So that's what we're doing. That's called arrangement. Now the hits are a little early. We're probably gonna nudge those to the right. Okay, so what we're gonna do now is listen to the metronome. I'm gonna turn off anything that's distracting. So I want another ghost snare. So one thing that I've noticed that people who use synthetic drum samples don't understand is that in real life, you're not gonna hit the snare the same velocity every time, like boom, boom, ka, ka. You just wouldn't do that. It'd be more like boom, boom, ka, ka, boom, boom, ka, ka, like that. So the only thing you might be missing here in these samples, if you're doing stuff that's recorded through like a sampler type sound, is just that the ghost snare. Now there may be another break that has some. Let me see. So again, a real drummer is going to be different velocities. I can also tell this is a plugin because it's just too clean and it's too quantized, like not too quantized, but too pristine. No overhead leakage. Again, what's missing is that ghost snare. So I might chop up AJ stuff because AJ is a drummer. So let's go to where it says breaks. I gotta delete all these Mac files. Mac adds these random like files in here. Mac sabotages PC users so bad. They add these unnecessary files. It's just so messy. See how we boom, boom, ka, ka, boom, boom, like that. You gotta be careful with drum breaks too, because I'll tell you guys this. I think it was an AJ Hall sample, or I'm pretty sure it was AJ Hall, if I'm not mistaken. I don't want to pin this on him because it was somebody's drum break that was from a kit, and I'm pretty sure it was the AJ stuff. And I put it up on YouTube, and it said that it was in somebody's song as a copyright content ID. So I'm like, how are we supposed to use these if we can't use them? So be careful with these breaks because I think it triggers the algorithm. Somebody claimed the drum break pattern, which is whack. Okay, so this has a ghost snare. Here we go. Right click, open slice. If it doesn't auto slice, click this button right here. It says medium auto slicing. I can't tell if my head's in the way. I can't see myself. So click where it says medium auto slicing. Go to the typing keyboard, right click, layout slice. C4 is your octave. Hit Control X to get rid of the notes. Now we just got to find that ghost snare. So I like to do 2 kicks, 2 snares. So boom, boom, ka, ka, boom. Just got to find the snare. See these ghosts? It's called a ghost snare. So let's record that. I'll try my best to record on tempo. I didn't realize how fast this BPM is. Holy crap. Okay, so let's say your BPM's too fast. Let's go to Tools, Macros, switch all audio clips to stretch mode. So now when I change the tempo, all the audio won't sound like crazy. Let's pull this down to like 88 BPM. 96 was way too fast. So I like that drum kit. Let's just loop it because I don't feel like doing all that work again. And now we got to add some hi-hats in here. What is this grid? Now let me do this again because technically I would do a little change up like boom, boom, ka, ta, boom, boom, ka, ta, boom, boom, ka, ta, ka. Something would change up. So let's find our slice. Okay. I would do something different, like doom, doom, ka, 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 doom, ka, something like that. So I didn't hit the right notes, but I got the right timing. Let's just double click. Now, because we have hi-hats over top of the sample, this will help you realize you don't need a bunch of hi-hats going all the way through your beats all the time. Purity is on Sonic Cat, I think is their website. It's owned by Sonic Cat. It's the company name. Now the drums didn't loop well, so let's turn the metronome on. Let's get this looper right. Okay, so that last snare is way too early. So what I'll do, let's say I get kind of like weird timing. I'll change my snap to grid to a smaller increment, like 1/4, and I'll see what is actually off. So right here, I'm playing too early. So I'm gonna hit Alt, grab this as a group, and delay it. So that way, it just doesn't sound super early by itself. So it's a little rush towards the end, but that's fine. Now, if you guys want like an MPC type sound, we're gonna go to Fruity Delay 3. And we're gonna turn the wet level all the way up, dry level all the way down, feedback down. Let me actually check before I give you all the sauce. How many people are here? We have under 100. I need you guys to smash the like button until we have over 100, because I'm about to give you all some pure game right now. Also, if you want these free FL Studio patcher presets, go to busyworksbeats.com/FL Studio. I just uploaded some free patcher presets, not on this computer, which I need to download it. I guess it's worth the download. Yeah, let me show you guys, because I already have it pre-built. So let me show you guys real quick. I'm going to go full screen so that I could log in to my thing real quick. But yeah, it's completely free. I'll show you guys where to find it. Just give me a second to log in. But go to busyworksbeats.com/FL Studio. Has anyone tried Lo-Fi Panda VST? Nah, I don't even know who made it. Why does this look like this? Okay, so let me show you guys how to find it real quick. All right, so here is, once you log in, you guys are gonna see this. We're gonna go to where it says, where'd I put it? Presets. Under the free downloads, go to preset. Then go to FL Studio. Then go to FL Studio plugins. Then go to patcher. And here are all the patchers that I've ever created. So I just uploaded like 10 to 20 of them. I forgot how many, maybe 14 of them yesterday. So let's download this as a group of stuff. And then I'll show you guys how to quickly open that up. So that's how you find it. Once you hop in our email list, you'll get a link to that Drive account. So let's go here and unload it. So now I'm just unpacking the sounds for you, or not the sounds, but the preset. Just give me a second, y'all. All right, now it's on my computer. We're gonna get out of there. I appreciate it going up to 100 for like a millisecond, just so I can share these gems with you. Serato to chop. I do technically, but for these videos, I know everybody doesn't have Serato. Okay, so now that we have that situated, let me show you guys. I made these for free. I'll show you the back end of it if you really want to know the geekiness of it. What up, Fanky? Let's refresh. All right, so patcher. And then we could just drag and drop these. So I made one called Dirty MPC. This one will add a pitch wobble to the sound, like a subtle pitch wobble. The drums, I should say. So the harder you push the drums, the better these plugins sound. What I'm gonna do though is add a, let me think. Do I have standard clip on here? I don't. I'll add Waves L2, where you at? Hopefully my wave stuff works on the PC. Come on, Waves. If Waves crashes my FL session, I'm gonna... Music Fluence is here. Darn it, y'all. Waves just crashed FL. Lil Shinji. Live audio only 15% is louder than my PC on. Huh? I don't know what to tell you. Dang it, y'all. I just crashed my FL. Hopefully I saved. I don't know where I left off. Not on this computer. On my Mac, I have like 3,000 plugins, literally. Plugins and sounds like the only thing we need as producers, but it's kind of weird working without the plugins too. Charles 13X, those drums sound pretty good. They sound all right, but I want to make sure that they were getting processed the right way. Hopefully. Where did that beat go? This thing better have saved. That's all I know. I don't know. I can't remember. Okay, it did save. What is this? This is not it. Oh, this is the wrong. What am I doing? Wrong day. was wondering why there was a zip folder. I was like, wait, hold up. All right, live stream 2, G Unit. It's Pray. It's Pray has my drum break in here. All right, so it didn't have the drums, which is, oh, here it is. Okay. Darn it. All right, so now we got to redo the drums, but that's fine. Let's hit Control L, send it to the mixer. Again, right click your typing keyboard, layout, slice X, C4 is the octave. We're gonna go down to 80, what was that? Let's go to tools, macros, switch all audio clips to stretch mode. We're gonna lower the BPM to 88, hit save. Okay, let's make sure we do that. And now I forgot the drum break we chopped up. How much is sponsorship from the VST? How much do sponsorships pay from VST companies? How often do you have to make content for them? It depends on how big the company is. So I've had billion-dollar companies bidding multi-thousands per episode before. And I'm talking like high four figures, not low four figures. It depends on if they're a billion-dollar company, they have their metrics a little bit better and they're less, what's the word? Less, what is the word for it? Skeptical. Okay, but if they're like a small company and they have no budget and they're scared to use money on influencers, it's such a different game. But yeah, companies like, you got to think the big companies, Sweetwater, you know, I've worked with them, billion-dollar company. Razer Music, billion-dollar company. You know, Near Protocol, which is in Web3, billion-dollar company, 7 billion at the time valued. You got, and I'm missing somebody. Wait, I always miss the last one. It's Near Protocol, Razer, and Avid, billion-dollar company. So they have a different perspective on how to go about content because they already tried the ads. They already tried the traditional stuff. Now they know that they have to go to the people, the culture. Don Teasy. Oh, it was AJ Hall. Thank you. No, it actually wasn't AJ Hall. It was the Adu sample because I said that AJ Hall, one of his loops, claimed copyright on my channel. So it was one of these. I just forgot which one. I think it was this one. Dang, I don't remember the exact one. Whatever. They're all the same samples. They're just different patterns. We're going to right click, open up slice. Click this button to auto slice. I got to do that all over again. Oh, man. These are the challenges we have as producers, so. Oh, it is. Because it's the same placement on my keyboard. 1, 2. Darn, I messed up the timing again, but it is what it is. All right, so again, when I edit drums that I'm programming in this way, I make sure I move stuff in groups and not one by one unless it has to be. What up, UK Breaks? Thank you for the tip. Paradox, thank you. So right here I did the wait. Now one day I'll show you guys, you can actually extract grooves from drum breaks in FL Studio, but that's a different video. It's too long to show you guys today. Native Instruments will pay less. No, they're a huge company. They're actually rolling up a lot of other companies like Plugin Alliance, Isotope, even FL Studio is I think they're gonna be eaten next by Native Instruments, in my opinion. There's no number. It's not really about how much are they willing to pay. It's how much are you gonna generate in sales for them. In order to measure that, you have to make content for them first, get the back-end metrics, which most content creators don't. But because I'm a business person, I understand how important back-end metrics are. Most people just take an upfront fee and then that's it. So if you don't, for example, if you know that 3 of your videos generated $21,000 in sales over, let's say, a month's time, 3 of your videos are now worth $7,000 each. You don't charge these audio companies $7,000 to make a video because they're not making any money. You want to ask for maybe 30% of that. So instead of $7,000 a video, you'll do $2,000. Okay, so that they still make $5,000 a video extra, you make your $2,000. So now it's like a partnership as opposed to you taking all the money that, even though I think it should be that way, like whatever money you generate should be the money you get paid, but That's the way I look at it. Like if somebody gives me $10, I want to give them back 100. How do you multiply their money? And you only know that when you have the metrics on the back end. It's different for every person. There's no one fee that you get per content piece. It depends on how much audience you have. Do you have an email list? Are you going to do this over time? Like how many sales do you actually generate? So that's the stuff that nobody's going to teach y'all. That's why I'm going to create a content network. What happened here? Why is it doing this? Let me figure out why it's doing that. What the freak? PC is so weird. I can't click in the chat. What the heck? Is the chat frozen? Let me refresh this screen. I feel like refreshing will help. DL sent $2. You're my first super chat. Showing a little love. Thank you, DL. I would like it, but it won't let me click. Why won't it do that? Something must be blocking it, I guess. Man, PCs are just built different. Okay, now I can like it. Not sure what happened to that first window there. I can't even close it either. PC, y'all got to get it together. Okay, so anyhow, that's how sponsorships work. So for example, I have a sponsorship on the table with BandLab, for example. And BandLab, because they have 100 million users for BandLab, they have a budget because they make what, let's just say 1% pays every month. That's 1 million paying customers a month. Even if they paid $1, it's $1 million a month. So it's just different depending on how big the company is. Thank you, X, for going live. Thank you. So, you know, their budget might be a couple thousand per video, but again, I have an audience of 1.2 million. So if your audience is 10,000, what's the difference there? I don't even know. 100, I don't even know how. Let me calculate on my calculator real quick. So 1.2 million subscribers divided by, let's say 100 means you have 12,000 subscribers. So if they're paying me a couple thousand, let's say, divided by 100, you should be paid $20 for yours if you have a 10,000 person audience. So it depends on the audience, the email, how much can you actually sell. There's a lot of variables involved, but once the companies understand that there's a lot of money to be made, they understand and they're willing to do business. And the sky's the limit. I mean, but you have to find people in the company that actually understand content though. A lot of these guys are just employees. They're not CEOs and stuff. One thing I'll tell you though is you don't want to be like what these kids call a shill. I didn't know what that word meant for a long time, but I get it now. It's basically anytime you say yes to a sponsorship deal that you shouldn't be saying yes to, and you take money for it. I've said no way more than I've said yes. And I guarantee you, if you say no way more than you say yes, you'll get to the top of the top. Because if Isotope comes to me, or Arturia, or Avid, or Native Instruments, they don't want to be paired with this unknown company that you just covered last week. They don't want to be grouped with the bottom. Anyhow, I'm going to make a BusyWorks network channel specifically for teaching people the game on content creation and keeping it in-house. Mellow flow, what's new? The air I'm breathing is new. Sandati. So let me gain some energy. Let's make this boom bap beat. We've been waiting for like decades to do this. Let's save this. So again, I gave you guys a bunch of free presets for Patcher. I'll quickly break it down because it's a lot to break down, but just go to busyworksbeats.com/FL Studio to download these for free. Who's Antonio Scott? Oh, Antonio Scott. Let's go to friends and let's go to where it says Patcher, and let's use the Dirty MPC preset. So this is going to add a pitch wobble to the sample. It's going to downsample it. So here's the key. In Fruity Delay 3, you can turn up the wet level, turn dry. Let me make sure we have over 100 before I give y'all the game. We have 90 people in here. I need y'all to smash the like button before I give y'all the sauce. Oh, it looks like an ad is about to pop up too. All right, so I need y'all to watch that ad, and then it says 38 seconds. So I'm giving you guys a warning. Oh wait, ads will run shortly for some viewers. right, so it's 30 seconds. So I'll wait 30 seconds before I give the game. But let me quickly explain it. In Fruity Delay 3, if you turn the wet level all the way up, dry level all the way down, everything else becomes an effect. So you have to turn the feedback level down and turn delay time down. And now literally everything else does stuff. So I have a limiter here. I have time modulation, which is moving by itself. I have lowered the reduction, the sample rate to 40 kilohertz because MPC 60s, for example, they didn't have 96 kilohertz sampling, or excuse me, sample rate, I should say. I think they're seeing an ad. So give me a second, y'all. I think some of the folks, if you're seeing an ad, type, well, I guess you can't hear this. If you're not seeing an ad, type yes. If you are seeing an ad, I guess you can't hear me. All right. Oval, what up, Oval? I use YouTube Premium, so I don't know what y'all are seeing and what, like, every time an ad hits, people leave. That's kind of whack. But hopefully y'all are still here. I don't know. Okay, anyhow. So in Fruity Delay 3, we have, the MPC 60, for example, samples at 40, I believe 40 kilohertz, which means it's not sampling at 96. It's not sampling at 100 and whatever sample rate, how many snapshots it takes per second. So we're going to lower the quality to about 40 kilohertz roughly. And FL Studio's Delay 3, you have to kind of eyeball the values in the top left. It's really hard to get the 40K because you can't type in values. So it's super hard to get that with your mouse. But I just had to like try it over and over and over again until I got there. And the bit level, the bit reduction, we're going to lower that to 12 bits because they weren't in 32-bit back then and 16-bit. So we're going to go to 12-bit, and that's what's going to give it that MPC, I'll say texture, but also you need a little crunch and limiting as well. So anyhow, I've made the presets for you guys so you don't have to do all that. And also added a preamp called Fruity Wave Shape. Now I'll start turning stuff down. All right, so the drums don't loop perfectly, so let me fix that. Okay, so as we can clearly tell, once you go down to your snap to grid, like to 1/4, for example, I can visually see that this last hi-hat or snare is just not lined up right. And these seem early too. Okay, so these are early, so we're gonna move the entire group over. So going down a measurement in your snap to grid can help you guys with the micro timing. It's a little quirky at the end, but let's start lowering stuff. So the hits are a little delayed. It might be because I'm recording at a longer buffer length, but let's nudge these a little to the right, hitting Alt, left click to drag these. So now they're more in what's called the pocket. So now we're gonna push the volume of these drums going through my preset. You're gonna hear more crunch. Let me save this. Also too, I wanna add, it's an older technique, but you can add like a tape machine emulation on the mix bus. In this case, we're going to do FabFilter Saturn 2, and we're going to go to add modulation envelope generator. We're going to drag this over the mix level, turn the mix level all the way down to 0, turn this modulation to a 100% max level, and then mess with your threshold until you see the peaks of the kicks hit. So basically every time the kicks and snares go ham, it adds a little sizzle on top for that tape type of feel. Now the drums are kind of bright in my ear. I like the dimension of them, but they're a little bright. So we're gonna add a classic parametric EQ2 and just shave off the high end. Let's see what happens if we add that top line back. All right, so what happened was I'm recording to a delay, so that is a little off. Slide these over. Now the beat feels a little sluggish. That's the only thing about like live, is that I can't record in real time like I would normally. So again, anytime something feels rushed, we could slice it and just nudge it to the right. Hit Shift Alt to do a vertical slice. Grab your pencil tool, just hit Alt. You said there's clicking and gross beat. Well, that's just the nature of gross beat if you're using that transpose feature. It creates clicks because it's moving the sample points of the audio where there's not a node, and it creates a sample point. So that's just the nature of gross beat. So let's see what we can turn this into. Let's try out different presets too. So that's the one called Dirty MPC. Let's try another one called Drum Machine Sizzle. Now they all push the drums in different ways. So again, it's a little off in the timing. Gangsta Clown rolling through South Central. Okay, so now we have all this. Let's hit Control G to combine all the audio. So here's where we get a little into our bag. So we're at 88 BPM. We need to stay at this BPM. If not, you need to re-render at the current BPM. So this is sauce that I'm about to show you guys. We're gonna go inside. We're gonna double click the sample. Right click, open in Fruity Slicer. Slice by the beat or the half beat. We learned this from Wonder Girl. Turn up the attack. Go back to your pattern. Make sure you get rid of that. Hit Control L, send it to the mixer. And now if we go to pattern 2, for example, we can paste that pattern back in. So now it's just gonna slice its way through the sample as opposed to play the sample all the way through. So now we'll have our own groove. And also we can pull down the pitch. Let's pull down the pitch 300 cents. Why I randomly got louder right there. Now it's still kind of quirky. So there's a plugin called, what is it called? I forgot the name. Something time. So if you click in an audio file, top left, you can go to where it says time warp sample, new time. That's what they call it. And you can open the plugin called new time and you can quantize that way. So the sample is a little like stop and go-ish. So let's go back to the sample that was combined. And we can take this sample. It is off, so let's go to the top left. I wish FL Studio made this like Ableton where it's just more fluid, but we can go to top left where it says time warp. And we can go to snap to grid. We're gonna snap it to the 8th beat. And we're gonna go to the edit tool and quantize the time. So now those kind of offbeat hits are gonna be on time. And let's click send to playlist to send the new audio as a new audio clip to the playlist. Let's mute the original. And now this should line up to the grid a little bit more. So that's the importance of timing. Still a little off, but okay, so remember we need to go to our audio, just double click, go to mode, stretch mode, and we could hit Control L, send this to the mixer. We could send it to a new, now we can change the BPM. What up, Ahmed? How you say it? Ahmad? I'm here learning something from you. U. We're going to double click on the sample, go to pitch, and pitch this down 300. It's still a little off and it's bothering me. So 84 is too slow. 88, I like this. It might be the drums that are just off. Let's hit Alt Q to quantize these drums. So now everything is more quantized. Now we can start upping the BPM. I still think it's a little early, so let's go to Snap to Grid. I know I'm doing all these little micro adjustments, but this is the work we got to do when you record audio. So I can just tell the audio is not in the pocket. So we're just going to nudge it, hit Alt, left click. Or you can highlight, hit Alt right to nudge it to the right. Now it's more in the pocket. I don't know why I just doubled up in volume like that. No idea. I think he means the full version of FL. Okay, so now we need bass and we need more instruments. So here's where Hercules is going to come in and save the day. Let's open up my plugin called Hercules. You can get this for 50% off if you use the code EARLYBIRD, all caps. Go to busyworksbeats.com/Hercules. And use the code EARLYBIRD to get all the bundles 50% off. So we're going to go to core. Let's go to bass. The bass never fails in Hercules. These basses are just... This one sticks out the speakers. It's called SO. It just stands out so much. I forgot we're not using the layout piano. Let's do this again. See how it just jumps out the mix? Let's record this. Realize we don't have any hi-hats. Yeah, stems would be dope. Also too, since this is titled FL Studio 24, there's a new stem, well, newish stems feature. It's not in 24, but this was in 21.3, I think. If you click in the top left of audio, you can go to extract stems from sample, and you can select whatever you guys want, and then hit extract. Now it does take time, so the longer the sample, the more time it's going to take. I would recommend slicing or extracting only from 8-bar increments or less, or 8-bar segments or less. Anything over 8 bars could take too much time. Could you show us hi-hats could you show us from Hercules? Hercules doesn't have hi-hats, but maybe high end. I'm not sure what you mean. So let's add that like final touch to the sound. Let's keep adding some Hercules sounds. So these are good for like adding stuff on top as well. Let's drive these drums a little bit harder. Record this 1, 2, 3, 4. right, so now we have all those little percussions in here. We still need hi-hats. Let me see if I can find some. I don't know if this one is open hi-hats or what. So for hi-hats, I like to have at least 2 articulations of the hi-hat. Because in real life, when you play hi-hats, you're not going ta 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 ta. It doesn't sound the same every time. If anything, it goes ta 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 like that. So we want 2. Also, it adds different texture. Let's add some hi-hats in here. Wait, let me find another one. Kind of hard playing hi-hats by hand, staying on time. So the drums are a little rushed. We're gonna go to the wrench tool, turn up time shift a little bit, not a lot. Why is this? Hold on, yeah. Just randomly started playing this sample. Okay. Now the tricky part is that some of these kicks have hi-hats in them, and they're clashing with the existing hi-hats. So you see this kick? It goes tick. So does that. So does that. So what we could do, which might be over the top, is, let me think for 2 seconds. We could, that's too much work, never mind. We could add a filter group. So let me see. Let's clone this. Move the notes over, add a filter to everything, so low pass filter. Thing is, we're taking out some of the detail in that snare. Also, I think that's more of a click than a hi-hat. I thought that was a hi-hat at first. I think there's a tool in here. If we go to tools, we can highlight all of this stuff and go to declick out and declick in. Now I don't know if that applies to all the samples, so let's, yeah, it was just, you're on the same page. I think it's just a click. At first I thought it was a hi-hat. Hold on, y'all. All right, so this is tedious. I wish there was a macro for it, but we need to find each marker that we're using. So 13, 17, 23, and 26. 13, 17, 23, 26. So let's zoom in. 13, we're gonna find marker 13, we're gonna double click on it, go to tools, declick in, and then declick out. This should fix the node situation. Okay, so that got rid of that. 17, again, I wish there was a faster way. Was it 23, I think? I keep moving the thing by accident. Just double click. I'm gonna redo that because I'm not sure if I moved that time marker by accident. And then was it 23 and 26? This is so tedious, but it's worth it. Okay, 26. Marker 26, here we go, double click, declick in, and then declick out. Okay, so it was the click. I thought it was a hi-hat. Okay, so one of these still has a blip. I think it's 20 and 15. Okay, I'll fix that real quick. So that's how you get rid of the clicks of any drum breaks. Let's find 15. Here it is right here. Okay, so now we have those declicked. Now we got to make sure the hi-hats are declicked. It's a little tedious, but I think even the hi-hats have a click in it. Hear that click? Okay, so 5. Luckily, it's only 1 on this one. So marker 5, double click. So this is what I do in sound design. Like, we go into detail about all the little nuances of a sound. Okay, so now that click is fixed. I feel like the hi-hats are a little early comparatively, so let's go to the hi-hats. Because everything is nudged. What up, Hollywood Floss? Thank you, Antonio. With everything in Andromeda, what up? We're gonna hit Alt right to nudge the hi-hats because it's still seen as the same plugin. Actually, no, it's not. It's a different one. I forgot I cloned it. So it's Control Z, whatever I just did. So let's say we want the hi-hats to fit more in the pocket. We're gonna click on this version of Slice, go to the wrench tool, turn up time shift a little bit more. Now we can feel that time difference between the hi-hats and the kick. Can you sidechain the kick with the bass or just 808s? You can do both. I don't know why the sample gets loud right there, so random. Since that's randomly loud, I'm going to cut that out and just duplicate the first half. So now we need to pull all this together with compression and more instrumentation to kind of make this feel like a whole record. As you guys can see, it's a lot of work when you start manually recording. So I'm going to go back to the keyboard and see what kind of sounds will pull this together. I think high-pitched strings would. This is not showing. Oh my gosh, clicking all the wrong buttons. PC, work with me, dog. There we go. Record that. We'll record. Boom, boom. Now we have that string. Let's turn this down. Stuff's loud. Control L, turn this down. Probably need some kind of piano in here or something, like a creepy sound. Let's do this repetitive pianos record. Darn, the delay throws everything off. Sapphire's in here with it. It's just the delay. So I'm recording to a latency that I don't hear until the audio comes in. So now I gotta nudge all this audio to the right. I'm hitting Alt. Oh, you know what? We can't nudge backwards. Duh. Grab the pencil tool, hit Alt, left click, drag this to the right. Swap out the bass. Darn, that timing is throwing off little things, but I'm not gonna obsess about little tiny details. Usually I record at 88 samples. So recording at what we're at 128 times 3 is what, about 500 samples. So now I'm going back to the Dirty MPC preset. So these sound a little rushed. Okay, so now we need like a dinner. We just need to fill out the sound with a Vigo Beats or Vigo Beats. Foxy Man is here. Sorry, I'm just trying to lock in the finish. This beat Rose 40, what up? Can you make a video on how to use gross beat? I don't use it that much. I only use it for halftime, but also check the pitch shifting presets in there. All right, let's try adding a couple more layers and then we'll move to the next beat. You guys can choose the genre of the next beat. Still a lot of work to do here, but what I'm gonna do though is add some more instrumentales. It just needs more grit at the bottom. Let's record this. So I'm doing D because we're transposed down 3 instead of F. The flute bends because I was recording pitch bends on my keyboard. Sorry, y'all, my computer glitched on me. See how much detail goes in all these layers. So I'm sampling myself and then re-adding layers on top of layers. So it's just layer on top of layer. I'm gonna kind of move quickly here because we got to get this ID out before we move to the next beat. Lil Jon type beat. Now if I was more in time as far as the metronome, as far as the sample, what is this thing called? Audio buffer length. I would do more strings, but let's see what else we can add in this beat real quick. Drums are a little, it's not perfectly matched with the sample. Let's turn off the drums for a second. Let's record this. So now I'm playing this like ominous pad thing, the vocals. So that is adding the texture that we need. I'm using the Korg Kronos for anybody watching the replay. You should make more tutorials for rookies. Yeah, this is not a beginner's live stream. I have a lot of free courses and a lot of free material. It's just that people's attention span is like, it scares me. But if you go to busyworksbeats.com/FL Studio, I have free courses that you guys can start with. Just go to busyworksbeats.com. I have a free course called The Better Beat Maker. Actually, here's the first beat making course I would recommend called The Better Beat Maker. Just go to busyworksbeats.com/betterbeatmaker. Next free course is called the FL Studio 21 course. Just go to busyworksbeats.com. You'll find that one. Firm wants to buy music equipment like yours, like mine. You don't really need all this stuff, be honest with y'all. You don't need it. One day I'll do like a studio tour. I don't have a lot set up just yet. I still have to set up my synths around the room, but you just don't need all this stuff. If anything, buy plugins first. You just don't need all this hardware I have. All right, so we've been on this for a while. So let's see if we can move to the next idea. I made my mouse faster some type of way. Okay. So right now it's just the drums, the timing. It's hard to do it live. JPEG Mafia. We need some samples for that one. Yeah, I'll send the loops over. The drums, y'all could do the drums. This loop, the drums just were not quantized in the way I needed. So let's move to the next beat. We took a while to get there. Let's do, how long have we been live? Let me see. Been live for 2 hours? No way I've been live for 2 hours. There's absolutely zero way I've been live for 2 hours. It felt like 40 minutes. No way I've been live for 2 hours. Must be some download pop-up that happened here. Let me see. How do I... All right, so we can cover one more topic before I'm going to get back to real life here. We have a little bit of time. So you guys let me know either a topic or a genre. We're going to have to make it in light speed, whatever it is. Harry Potter type beat. I don't have my string orchestra on this library. I mean, my brain is like saying the wrong things lately. I don't have my strings on this computer. Start a new project up. I guess I could have strings on this keyboard. I just don't know the presets to use. All right. Let's see what genre y'all voted for last. Let's just mess with Hercules. Let's make our own genre. So let's cover the actual stuff. New Jersey. Let's go to Hercules. Let's start making some melodies here. Let's go to plucks. I like starting off with dragon pluck. It just is a good sound. Name of this. What's this? Does it cost? What, FL Studio? Talking about what I'm making music in. It's called FL Studio. Anderson .Paak. That's gonna take too long. The Weeknd. Juice WRLD a bit. All right, so y'all want like The Weeknd. Let me see what I have on this computer. Do I have Omnisphere? No, I don't. Okay, I moved the Steam folder of Omnisphere. I guess it took up too much space. Oh my goodness. Okay, we get it. Basil Alki, what up? The Matrix type beat. A Lil Jon type beat. Let's combine these ideas. Did you build Hercules with Juice? It's based on Juice. I think Juice has an upgrade called Juice 8. So I know the framework is based on Juice. I know that much. Ascending Keys beats. If you guys go to the audio programmer, he has 2 new books out on how to make your own plugins. 2 new books. He's the one who did my first. Did he do my first? No, that was Studio Linked. He did my second plugin a while ago called Hermes, but it's a different story. Public Enemy type beats. Omnisphere raises my anxiety, my depression. All right, so I have like a couple minutes to make a beat. How much? It's 300 gigabytes of space, I think, is Omnisphere. I told people to buy VSTs, and the OGs talk like I was trying to tell everybody not to buy analog equipment anymore. They got mad. VSTs are cheaper and a good way to get started. Yeah, I guess, you know what, I had to realize their mindset is coming from the recording business, not necessarily music production. And if I were to start a new studio, the first thing I wouldn't get is plugins. You know, the first thing I would get is a mic, a compressor. That's what I would invest in if I were to build a recording studio. I think they're stuck in that recording mindset though. So y'all are giving a lot of requests. Let's see what we could do with. Actually, I might have to end this live because we've been going on for a while. You know what I'll do? I'll come back live later and we'll make some more beats because it'll take me too long. It's already late. So I'll be right back. Actually, not right back. I'll be back at, let's say, 9 p.m. Tentative time, tentative place. All right, guys. Thank you for being here. Next stream will be more organized. This one was